Ask the Angry Ninja Show.
Can we stop singing?
You're supposed to go bum bum bum.
Yeah, but the bum 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 isn't apparently getting the hint that we need to stop singing. We're kind of losing listeners.
No. We're putting out the ninja talent to bring in more listeners. That's what we're doing. We're bringing in more listeners with the ninja. They're impressed by the voice of the ninja. No. That's, the bad part is you're saying my singing is horrible, but going through the mic and into this headset, I sound amazing. It's all in the settings. No, really, it's all in the settings.
Oh, okay. It's like that auto-tune?
Yeah. I mean, it's not great, but it's not as irretrievably bad as you make it out to be once it gets processed.
Okay, processed.
Right? It's like cheese. It's okay processed.
It's okay, but it ain't great.
That's what I said, though. It's not great, but it's okay.
See, you're like that generic dollar store cheese.
Generic dollar store cheese. That's hurtful.
Look, I'm just being honest. Like, you can be honest with me. Like, I don't sing when I know people are listening. I sing in the shower, in the car, when there ain't no one there.
Or when you don't know the mic's on.
Or if I don't know the mic's on. But still, I know it's time for you to learn. We ain't singers, honey.
Aw, I feel like I could be like the next Beethoven. He didn't sing, did he? That doesn't work. Never mind.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the dog movie, and I was like, oh.
Wow. No, the real Beethoven.
Well, I never know. Would you, honey?
No. I think I sing better than a dog. Although I did use somebody who didn't sing to make that point, but that's...
I think that's why I thought the dog, because I'm like, no, he knows better than that.
I just wasn't thinking. I did know better. I was trying to think if was there any classic composers that did sing along with their stuff? Or were they all like me and shouldn't be singing?
They knew where their talents lay.
Yeah, we can make music. We shouldn't just sing music. So I'm going to start writing rap songs, otherwise known as poems, and be a ninja poet. Don't you know it? See? Right there. I already started.
911.
Ninja poet, don't you? Oh, come on. That was good. That was good stuff. Because I could throw my ninja star so very, very far.
I'm highly ashamed for you.
I ain't no shame in my ninja game. Get it? Shame game? Huh?
That was actually good.
I have my moments. All right. So obviously the ninja wife is here, and we all know.
I'm always here. I live here.
Well, on the show, you're not always on the show. But if the ninja wife is on the show, what does that mean?
Movies, entertainment, all your lovely needs met. Because I'm awesome.
She is awesome, and occasionally I get her mad talking about politics.
We don't talk about politics. Politics, no.
Then it's the Angry Ninja and Angry Ninja Wife.
Yeah, no, I don't like when I'm mad.
Nobody likes when you're mad. You're very scary.
I saw it.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're proud of your scary sometimes.
Sometimes it's funny watching people's faces.
Right?
I'm just saying.
Like, I had to have surgery, and she threatened a nurse. It was horrible.
They tried to take the chair I was sleeping in.
That's not the time I was talking about.
Oh, they wouldn't tell me nothing about you, so.
They didn't know.
But we ain't talking about that, honey.
Well, it made me feel loved.
Because you are loved. Okay, we're getting so off topic here.
We're randomizing.
Okay, well, we're going to randomize in our third nostalgia.
Yes, and unfortunately, the conscript won't be here for this one, so we're going to hear less about games, which is sad, because I actually like talking about games. I wish he was nostalgic about a game that came out in the last 10 years, but hey, it's still actually good stuff.
Yeah.
It actually makes me want to go back and play Diablo again.
I never played the first one, so it kind of makes me want to play the first one.
If you can get past the graphics, you'll be okay.
See, I tried to play a game with the kid once on like a Nintendo.
The emulator thing we bought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What is wrong with this? I think it's broken." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Look at it, Mom, it's broken." I said, "No, honey, that's just how it was." He goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry for you." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "If that's what you grew up with, I'm so sorry." But he goes, "It's okay. You got Assassin's Creed now, Mom."
Oh, and you know what? He's not wrong.
Right?
So I go back and try to play these games. I'm like, oh, it just.
Yes.
I spent how many of my hours doing what?
Right?
Oh,
now,
no.
there's one game that I can still play, and that's Donkey Kong. I love Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played that one.
Well, we're going to find it, and we're going to play it.
Okay.
I
We'll get some banana ones. Isn't that you collect bananas?
You do, and yeah.
Yeah.
And you have Diddy, the little monkey.
Okay.
It's so cute, but I love that game.
I mean, that sounds very nostalgic to me.
And it's very nostalgic.
Yeah. You know what's really hard to go back and play, though?
What?
Super Mario Brothers, the original.
Yes.
I'm all like, why? I spent so many hours of my life playing this game. And I beat it multiple times. I figured out how to beat it quickly as possible, for me anyway. I can't. Do you know what the world record is for that?
What?
Like 4 minutes.
Really?
They beat the entire game.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll show you the video later. Okay, off sidetracked.
No, it ain't a sidetrack because we were nostalgic for old games.
We were.
We were filling in for our dear departed. Well, that makes me sound good.
Yeah, he's not dead. He's just at his real job.
Yeah.
He's off making ducats.
His soul.
Okay, so the first one is yours. And I honestly have never seen this movie all the way through. I just haven't, yeah.
You've never seen Free Willy all the way through?
No.
Oh my Lord. Lord helps all.
Time frame and when it came out, I didn't really care about Wells.
There's 3 of these movies.
Yeah, I know.
At one point,
You own all of them right now. They're upstairs.
I do own all of them. But at one point, you would have to buy a special movie, and you got these little mini Wells. And on the bottom of the Wells, it had their names. You had Luna, you had Willie, yeah, and I had all those as well. This movie almost picked my career path. And then
You realize you didn't like water?
I'm like I was supposed to be born a mermaid, y'all, I'm just saying. But there's one thing about the ocean that I don't like.
What?
Sharks.
Whatever.
And it's not that I don't like them, I just don't want to be really close to them. And if you want to grow up to be an oceanographer, you gotta be around sharks. And so that took my career back. But
you just put on the chain shark suit and get in there and swim with them.
yeah, no. But I grew up loving these movies, and these movies are like the best. I remember watching the first one like 5 times in a row. So much. I think my parents burnt my first copy.
Like, what happened to Free Willy? It melted inside the DVD player. We don't know what happened.
Like, something happened to it, but my dad ended up buying a new copy. But still.
He needed a break.
Right.
We'll buy you another copy when we get paid in 3 weeks.
Right? But yeah, I mean, and you had the first one, then you had the second one, then you had the third one where, I mean, he's going with this kid who loves whales, right?
Right.
But the kid's dad is a whale hunter for the oil and stuff. And harpoon and stuff. And so he has to stand up to his dad and stuff. That was the third one. So yeah, it's a little... And the second one, he finds out he has a half-brother. The main dude, Charlie. Yeah.
So just watch the first one. Is that what you're saying? Because that's what I just heard.
I love them all, okay? But the first one is like the best one because that's when he like takes the whale and he breaks it out of the aquarium and it jumps over and it lands in the ocean and it's Free Willy.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm sorry.
You're 5.
I hope I'm free Winnie. Sorry. I don't mean to ruin your childhood, but yeah.
You can't ruin my childhood. Shoot.
Okay. You actually picked the next one, too.
I did.
But this is kind of nostalgia for both of us.
It is.
Although, I mean, I was a little bit older when this came out, but it was Michael Jordan. It was Bugs Bunny. Not that much older than you, shush. I'll start spitting out numbers. I'll do it.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I already told everybody your age. Never mind. Darn it.
The second one was Space Jam.
Right?
I mean, who doesn't know Space Jam? You got Bugs Bunny, Tasmanian Devil, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Muggsy.
Right? Sean Bradley. Don't forget Sean Bradley.
Well, I'm going down the list here.
Charles Barkley. Patrick Ewing.
I love the scene in this movie where they're all in therapy.
Are you having troubles in other areas? No.
Yeah, I love the therapy. I mean, and Bill Murray,
Bill Murray was in it. Larry Bird. Yeah.
I mean, it's a great movie, and it has your cartoon childhood mixed with your iconic basketball heroes as children.
And they introduced Lola Bunny.
Yes, we get Lola, who is better than all the boys.
Of course, she's the only one that can know how to play a sport.
Right. And they go up against...
And Danny DeVito. Yeah, he was the voice of the head alien.
Oh, yes, he was. But yeah, I mean, it's just a great movie.
And you're like, how do you feel about the fact that they're going back to make a new one?
I'm torn, okay? Because would I love to see another Space Jam? Absolutely. And unlike you, I don't have the hang up with LeBron James. Yeah, I don't have that hang up.
LeBron, though they touch me, give me a foul, I'm gonna throw myself across the court and act like a baby.
Yeah,
LeBron James.
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
My problem is, are they going to be able to make it? Or when I watch it, I'm not going to think, okay, damn, you just ruined my childhood.
Yeah, the answer to that is probably no.
Probably not. But so I'm excited and I'm scared.
Yeah, but in order for this movie to be accurate, LeBron James has to flop at least twice per play. Has to. Otherwise, it's not an accurate movie.
He's so hateful.
No.
We don't call a spade a spade. You just hateful.
Well, no, he is a great basketball player. And I will admit that he's not as good as Michael Jordan. He's not as even good as Larry Bird. Definitely not as good as Kobe Bryant. But he's still a great basketball player and can do amazing things and has a high basketball IQ. But the stuff he does to flop, it just makes me want to go, I hate the way you play basketball. I remember when Michael Jordan got his hand broke while he was going in for a dunk. And he didn't flop, he scored. You know, that's
one of the things that makes me sad about this movie. So, like, a long time before we got together, I was watching Space Jam with some friends. And we're like, if they ever made another Space Jam, who would your top people be? And most of us pick Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant. I would love to have seen that.
Right? But that can't happen, and that makes me so sad because I think he would have been
a million times better than LeBron.
I think it would have been a great movie, and I wouldn't have the same fear that I have now.
Yeah. I'm always going to have that fear. Anytime they do a remake, I have that fear. Especially, there's been so many disappointing ones they've redone from my childhood. So, I always have that fear. There's not a movie they go, oh, we're going to remake this. Nope. I like it better when they pretend like it's a sequel.
Right. Or a prequel.
Yeah. Like, okay, this doesn't hurt my childhood. It's a part 2.
I love prequels. Like, especially if you watch a movie that kind of started halfway through the person's life or whatever. Yeah. But then you get that prequel of what led them there. Yeah. Oh, I love me a good prequel.
So anyway, everybody, watch Space Jam, watch Bugs Bunny play basketball with Michael Jordan.
The Toon Squad against
the Monsters. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, and now to my pick. I don't know if y'all know, but I am a giant comic book nerd.
He's just a nerd.
Yeah, but really comics.
Yeah. And
comic characters. I mean, I love movies. I love sci-fi. I read fantasy novels. I do all of it. But really, it always goes back to comics. Mm-hmm. So, of course, my next 2 are comics. Superman, the original Christopher Reeve Superman. Love those movies, even the horrible fourth one, and the third one with the computer wasn't much better. Great movies. Richard Pryor was in Superman 3. Mm-hmm. Great movie.
They were good movies.
And I really like how they took a chance on the first one, where they really wanted. Actually, the first two were supposed to be one movie, and the director said it'd be too long, make it two movies. And the studio was like, we don't know if people are going to watch this. He goes, they will, trust me. And sure enough, they took the chance. They did the first one, giant hit. One hit made the second one. There's only one problem in my mind with those movies. Wow. And after it gets explained to me, I was a little more okay with it, but the way they portrayed it in the film, I did not like. When he travels back in time.
Why don't you like it?
Well, the way they portrayed it in the movie, it didn't look like he was traveling back in time. He starts flying around the earth in reverse. Yeah. And then you start seeing everything just backing up in reverse. The earth starts spinning backwards. The car, Lois Lane comes alive, goes up, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Which, just watching it look like, oh, he made the earth spin backwards, so that might time go backwards. Not actually the Einstein theory that if you travel faster in the opposite direction, you skip through time. The way they portrayed it, it didn't look like he traveled through time. It looked like, oh, if the earth spins the other direction, time's going to go backwards. But they explained it later, and it made more sense. Other than that, loved all of them. I got hung up on that when I was a kid. I'm like, if you spin backwards, that doesn't make time go.
What was the first thing that introduced you to Superman?
My dad.
No, I mean, like, the first thing, was it like a comic? Was it?
I would actually probably say this movie.
Or this one?
Yeah. This is literally probably where it all started.
Do you know my very first ever anything Superman? I bet you'll never ever get it.
Your bed covers when you're a baby?
Really?
I'm just saying, I know your dad.
You do know my dad. But no. So there was this one episode of I Love Lucy. Okay? And
the old black and white Superman.
Black and white Superman. And he makes a cameo in this. And it's been a minute since I've seen it. But I think it's like Little Ricky's birthday or something. Mm-hmm. And he's supposed to come through the window and stuff. And she ends up on the ledge. And then so Superman, this guy, goes, to help her back in. And comes through and there's Superman. And the living room with the kid. And that was my very first thing with Superman.
You had the Superman who couldn't even fly.
Yeah. But then I went from that to Christopher Reeve's.
Yes.
And that was the journey to the comic books, who led me to find, unfortunately, Batman.
Look, unfortunately, Batman.
My daddy loves Batman.
Batman's awesome.
So, I've dealt with Batman all my life, so sure. But yeah, that was my very first thing with Superman. And that interaction right there was like, well, if it's good enough for Lucy, then I'm going to go find Superman.
So, because Lucy liked it and you like it, is this like a code all Gingies must like Superman? Is something?
Well, no, it's just that thing that, so this show I like, and they introduced them. I think that's why they do crossovers sometimes for new shows.
Oh, it is. That's exactly why.
And it works so well for me.
Anytime he's on Lucy, you're like, I should watch that. That's how I discovered Scott Sigler.
On Lucy? I didn't know it went back that
far. No, but crossovers, I'm a big Chris Hardwick fan. Yeah. Since the days of Singled Out.
Wasn't Jane McCartney on that too?
Yeah, but she quit and Carmelita came in. But the really funny person on that show was Chris Hardwick. Mm-hmm. He what made me come back, because he would always they'd be leaving because they got whatever. He'd always had in the mic say these horrible things about the people as they left, and he'd get away with it because
it was fun.
Well, no, they couldn't hear him. Oh. He was literally saying it into the mic where we could hear it as the audience, but the guys he was saying it to that were 4 times the size, they could break him like a twig. Yeah, he's like, so made me love that show. And he started a podcast, and he interviewing people. And one of the interviews he did was with Scott Sigler, and they talked about the book series that you're totally sick of, the Intergalactic Football League.
Every time I come in the kitchen or come in the bedroom, if I leave you alone for like 5 seconds, that's what I hear playing.
whatever. It is great.
Now, look, I ain't gonna lie. There's been a night or two that I pretend to be sleeping so I don't get no grief because I get no grief all the time about this. And it's decent. It's good. I mean, I'll listen to it sometimes. But when it's all you hear, every time you enter a room, you get tired of it.
Well, you caught me while I was re-listening to all the books because the new one was coming out, and there's 6 of them.
Yeah, but see, you went back to re-listen to them, so I've already heard them. And I'm like, why are we listening to this again? Why am I sleeping, dreaming of aliens playing football?
I guess this is a bad time to say the new one's coming out. I gotta re-listen again.
You know what? I'll probably listen to it because they're good.
They're good.
Just, I don't want to hear them for like the 14,000th time.
They're almost all of my Audible, all but one.
I know. Trust me. I know.
You know, you could, and I can get you the first one if you want. Just saying. That way you can listen to them in order.
I'm good.
The Journey of Quentin Barnes. It's amazing stuff.
It's a good story. It was well written.
Scott was an amazing writer. And for y'all that don't know, Scott Sigler apparently approves of this podcast. He promoted us on this podcast. What?
Sweet.
Right? Okay. Moving on.
We're going to move on.
We're going to move on.
From space football.
Yeah, you say it like that, but way more to... Well, you know.
Yeah, there's way more to it. But, I mean, when you first said space football, I was like, what?
Well,
Is this like Star Wars playing football?
No.
Yeah, once I started listening to it, it wasn't.
He created this whole universe with all these different races, and it's amazing.
It is amazing. It is so well written. And, you know, sometimes I listen to an audiobook because, you know, when you're cleaning or cooking or pretending to be asleep, it's nice to listen to things. And I've bought some books, and I was like, okay, this sucks. I want my money back. But those I've listened to and pretend to be asleep and listen to them so I don't get crap. They're well written, and they bring you in it almost immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And that's hard to do, so props to him.
And really, one of the things I think he does, we're so off topic, but Scott Sigler, guys, get some Scott Sigler in your life. But is in between chapters, he has these little mini parts where he breaks down the anatomy of the aliens so you can really understand why these aliens are the way they are and do what they do. And it breaks down not just that, their history and things about their culture and stuff like, oh, why are the Sklerno so fast? Well, because when they're born, if they ain't fast, they die.
I mean, it's really well written. And oddly enough, I say go listen to them all.
There you go. The first one is called The Rookie by Scott Sigler.
Yes, it is.
And you can go from there.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Now for my last movie. The movie of movies. The movie that made a little kid happy. Batman.
Go watch Batman.
The first one, we're going nostalgia here. The 1988 Michael Keaton, Tim.
That's one of my favorites.
It was my favorite until, because in 1988 I was only 7. Okay. So I wasn't as into the comics yet. I was reading them a little bit, but.
And I watched it a couple years after it was came out.
Yeah. And so my problems with that movie now go back to my problem with every comic book movie almost, where they totally mess up the story. But for what it was when it came out, it was amazing. It was the dark Batman rather than the happy-go-lucky, hey, chum.
The 1966.
Well, no, the comics were like that for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
The first really dark Batman comic was by Frank Miller. It was like The Dark Knight Returns. And that Batman was basically suicidal. So, it brings that to the picture. Jack Nicholson as a Joker, great, even though they messed up his origin story really bad. Still, Jack Nicholson, great Joker. Not as good as Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger killed it.
Yeah, I like the kid from Gotham.
Right?
I don't care what people say.
No, he was good.
He was
Gotham itself was horrible. He was awesome.
It started off so strong, though.
It did.
And then it plummeted.
It hardcore. Like, because The problem with Gotham would be the same. At this point, so I know like the origin story of almost every comic book character that I'm into, and all their back. I know all their origin stories, and Gotham went and said, "Nope, we don't care about any of those origin stories. We're gonna do whatever we want to do." That was bad enough, but the thing about Gotham that ruined it for me was the one thing about Commissioner Gordon was he was the law-abiding,
straight-laced,
no matter what.
Yeah.
And
he's like taking out mob members and
yeah, like his first season, he's murdering people.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That's not Gordon. That's not how Gordon would get down, ever. You can't do that. He was the one honest cop.
Yeah.
And in that, he was.
That's why him and Batman worked together.
Yeah, it was the only reason. And Catwoman and Batman being childhood friends.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I can almost go along with that. I know it don't stick with the story, but I can almost go along with that. There was just a lot of other things. But I love that dude. I don't care if he was supposed to be the Joker, wasn't the Joker.
Yeah, no.
He would be a great Joker.
He would. He had the laugh.
Yeah.
And that's all you need. If you got the laugh, you can work on everything else.
But we were talking about nostalgia. So what is your very first welcoming to the world of Batman?
Actually, my first one would have been the 1966 Batman. It would. I watched those on reruns all the time, and I loved them. But then I saw this movie, I'm like, oh, this is so much better.
Yeah, see, I watched the 1966 Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it was funny.
Yeah.
It was nice. I love Catwoman in 1966.
Yes.
There's two, though.
Yes.
There was Eartha Kitt.
Yes.
And there was Julie Newmar.
Yes.
And I love them as Catwoman. But my real, I want to say, Batman was the 92
animated series. Yes, that. Look, I liked Batman before that, but that one just drives the nail home. Like, if it wasn't for the animated series, I may not be as big of a Batman fan as I am now.
We're going for the animated series, and I don't think a lot of people know. We probably wouldn't have Harley Quinn.
No, Harley Quinn was made up for that series.
Yeah.
They wanted to take the edge off the Joker because they thought he was a little intense for the animated series.
So they brought in a girl for him.
Yeah, and who knew she was the crazy one?
And of course, we all love Harley now.
We do.
Harley is my fave.
Puddin'.
Well, Harley and Ivy.
Yeah. Although you didn't like the Ivy that was in Arkham Knight.
I did not like the Ivy that was in Arkham Knight.
That one was really cool because she embraced the plant stuff more. Anyway, right. That's a video game. We're moving on.
Yeah. But yeah, so Batman, Superman,
all of them.
Free Willy. It's our man. I know it's nostalgia, but start acting like a 5-year-old.
I can't help it. Free Willy. Every time you say Free Willy, I remember this horrible sitcom, this horrible joke. And I'm not going to tell the horrible joke again because you're already shaking your head in shame, but it was funny. They had to go Free Willy. Because it was stuck.
Lord have mercy on my soul.
I love you, honey.
I love you.
Alright, guys. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up the last nostalgia show for now?
How about we all should sit down and rediscover our childhood?
You know what? That is the ninja homework. I want everybody who listens to the show to pick their favorite childhood movie, go watch it, and tell us what it is.
Yeah, I mean, what's more exciting than visiting something from your past?
Right, just make sure it's a good movie.
It doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to pick a good one half time.
Whatever. You're right, I don't. You're right. I picked Pumpkinhead at one point.
You did.
Yeah, I think you're mad at my dad about that one. A little bit. Alright. Alright, guys, that is the show for the night. Everybody have a ninja night.
Bye.